Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's EBC video. We're in downtown Minneapolis this week, looking out on this sort of snowy view of some of the rest of downtown, and I'm going to talk about what we can see here in just a moment. But first, I want to talk about where these verses are in Luke 6 verses 17 to 26. It's the Beatitudes. It's Luke's version of the Beatitudes, and for those of you who know it by name and can sort of recite it by heart, right, it's this sort of warm, wonderful set of assurances from Jesus that as he's speaking to the crowd, he says, "Blessed are you if you're poor, because yours is the kingdom of God. And blessed are you who are hungry, because you'll be filled. And blessed are you who weep, who are sad, because you will laugh later. Blessed are you if you're persecuted because of me, because you will receive a reward in heaven." Now, if that's all there were to these verses, we could stop there and feel really good about that. But Jesus does go on, and he says, woe to you if you're rich now, basically because you've gotten all you're ever going to get now. If you are full now, you'll be hungry later, right? If you're laughing now, you'll be sad later. And it's sort of hard at first, maybe I think, to understand, like, what is it we're talking about here? Is Jesus asking us to be miserable and poor now? I don't think that's quite it. But I will tell you, by the way, that the Beatitudes get a lot of attention in theology, and I'm not here to try to describe every piece of what they might mean. I can only tell you what they mean to me as I'm standing here. And I want to think about the Beatitudes a little bit more from the standpoint of what we can see out this window, all right? We're standing on the 18th floor of a skyscraper in downtown. Beneath us here, this red building, the sort of the brick one that you can see, is the Lumber Exchange Building. It is the oldest building in Minneapolis. It was built in 1885. And as the name suggests, the Lumber Exchange Building. In 1885, it was built as a grandiose, wonderful mecca for lumber exchange and marketing in Minneapolis. It is a big piece of what that turn of the century Minneapolis was built on. Today, it's still a beautiful building. There is some persistence to it in that sense, but it's a wedding and event venue. It doesn't have that same exchange to it, right? And we're standing in a building which is clearly taller than it is. And if I were to go across a couple streets over, I can get into another building that's even taller than this building. And what we see from that is that if we are focused on simply sort of acquiring wealth, if we are focused on just sort of success in this capitalist society that we have, we're taught to do that. I mean, these buildings are built to help gain more wealth. But when we do that, there's never enough. If your heart is chasing the wealth, then the answer is you'll be in that building, and you'll be in this building, and you'll be in the next taller building over, and it never ends from that perspective. When Jesus is saying, blessed are they who are poor, one of the things I think that he's saying is that if you've got your focus in the right place, and it might be easier to do when you don't have as much, right? The answer is that you'll be, in the long run, happier, more focused on what Jesus wants you to focus on than if you're just sitting there trying to acquire wealth, or if you've got a lot of wealth and then you're trying to get some more wealth, that kind of thing. So as we're thinking about what the Beatitudes mean, right? It's one thing, I mean, look, if you're somebody who doesn't have as many dollars in their pocket as they wish they did, if you go to bed hungry, those sorts of things, Jesus does have that assurance for you that you are blessed. If you're somebody who feels like, well, I mean, Beatitudes are tough for me because, you know, I probably have quite a lot. And I don't know if is Jesus telling me that I've already gotten everything I'm going to get? Am I already sort of at a loss because of it? Well, I think the answer is no, right? Jesus has said he's come for everybody and he's forgiving everyone and he's salvation for everyone. But as we think about what it is we are focusing on in our lives, I think the Beatitudes today helps us understand that even in this society, which values that success and growth and accumulation and all of those things, Jesus is there still saying, don't put your heart on those things, because then you'll always be chasing the next tallest building. Put your heart on the things that matter. Love and helping your neighbor and doing kindness for other people. All right, so everyone, have a great week and look for ways to spread a little of your wealth and ways that other people can help you if you're in a time of need as well.